So today we're going to do some worm and flea treatment for Bremner here. It's going to cover worming and how to give a worming tablet. This is good for tablets in general if your cat or your dog ever needs to be on any medication, so we'll cover that as well today. Flea and worming very important for a number of different reasons. Flea prevention is much easier to do with spot on, which is a liquid that goes on the back of the neck, rather than trying to get rid of fleas once they're in the house, because it can be a bit of a nightmare. Okay. Worming, there's some worms that can pass between young children and animals and can cause problems in young children, so for that reason alone it's certainly worth doing, but also for the animal's health it's worth doing on a regular basis. We need to have accurate weights because the flea and worm treatment is all based on their weight, so we do like to keep a check on their weights and make sure they're up to date. Okay, so we'll just see how heavy Bremner is. Are you getting fed up? Let's see how heavy you are. Okay, good. There we go. So, the flea treatment that we recommend is a prescription one called Advocate. Now, this treats in dogs and things like that, it treats lungworm as well as doing fleas, and also covers mites and things like that as well. So for that reason it's slightly stronger than the ones you can get in the supermarket. This needs to be done monthly in cats and dogs, and to do this with the pipette we part the hair on the back of the neck until you can see the skin, and then you just empty on in a couple of different sites so that it gets soaked in, like so. Now, you should not wash your pet for a couple of days after this so that it is effective, and it gets absorbed from the skin. The reason that we do it at the back of the neck is so that they can't lick it off, okay? So that's it, that's really it for fleas. Really that simple to put on, and that takes fleas for a month, and make sure that there's no problems with them in terms of getting in the house and that sort of thing. Okay? Worming wise, for cats there is tablets. There's also spot on, so if cats are really difficult to tablet, we would recommend using the spot on. Now, trying to get tablets into animals in some cases is very easy. Some dogs will take it in a little bit of food, something like a bit of cheese, a little bit of meat, no problem. Some of them though, you have to put it down the back of their throat, and that's what I'll demonstrate today in terms of how to give that. In some severe cases you need to put a little bit of butter on the tablet or syringe some water in afterwards to make sure that it's swallowed. Now, to open up the animal's mouth, you put your hand over the top and you put a finger behind each of the canines, which are the large teeth at the front here. So we then hold the mouth shut, and if you rub their throat, they will eventually swallow. Now that should mean the tablet is swallowed. So just check that. Good, all gone there. If they do bring it back up, then it is usually a case of trying again, perhaps syringing some water in afterwards to try and get them to swallow. Okay, there we go, that's you all done. So, nail clipping. This is something you can do at home with both dogs and cats. It's something a lot of people aren't too keen on doing because there is a blood supply within the nail and they can bleed from it, okay? Usually not severely, but if you do catch them on the blood supply it does hurt them, and plenty of animals don't like having their feet played with. So, it's usually a two-person job this, somebody to hold them and the other one to clip the nails. What you're looking for is very good if they've got white or clear nails. You can see that there's a pink bit in the middle, and you want to be clipping just a couple of millimeters beyond the end of that to make sure that you're not going to make them bleed. Okay, and as long as they're well held and they're quite good for that, that's something you're going to quite happily do at home. Do they need it done that regularly? Some dogs never need it doing. Cats usually do need to have their nails clipped. And one thing to watch out for is as they get older, they tend not to wear them down as quickly, and they can curl around and start to dig into the pads, and it can cause real problems of infection in there. So older animals, certainly keep a close eye on them, especially the dew claws, the ones up the side. So I'll demonstrate with Oscar here. If you do have problems at home, it's something that we do offer. Both the vets and the nurses are happy to clip nails in consults, and you can come in for just that as well. Okay, so give me your paw. Good boy. I'm just going to clip that here. There we go. We also find sometimes they're actually a lot better in the vets because it's somewhere they're not used to, and they're a bit more subdued actually in terms of actually getting them done, whereas at home they think they can play up. You can see on his pretty clearly there's the pink area at the top, and we want to be clipping it probably just about there, so just in front of the pink bit. If you do clip too high, don't panic. If they bleed, put some pressure on. They don't normally stop quite quickly with that. If you are concerned, then obviously give us a call, but in most cases it'll stop quite quickly. Okay.